not everything is great about China, like any other country.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And
There's good and bad everywhere. But
yeah, and I'm here with Hazza today because I had a chance. I came to Guangzhou and we've been talking on WeChat, and I really like his videos.
Thanks, mate. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I think you have a different voice. You're really nice. More people should be just nice and kind, and a lot of people are not. Hey Hazza.
G'day.
Good
How are
day.
you going?
I'm good. You know any Hebrew too? You must know something.
I did learn.
Shalom.
Oh, shalom. Oh,
You
shalom.
must know.
Yes. Oh, I must.
It's my
Yeah.
dad's name too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's hello, it's goodbye, it's peace.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a few things.
So it's all in one.
All in one, like aloha.
Yeah, exactly.
Any no word in English like that, right?
Yeah. No, I can't think of all in one word. So.
Yes. Yeah. All right, so we're here at the Happy Monk.
Yeah. Happy month.
It's like a restaurant bar in Guangzhou.
Yep.
What district are we in?
We're in Tianhe district.
Tianhe.
Tianhe
All right.
district.
And
Yeah.
you live in this district?
I live fairly close to this restaurant. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
And your job is around here too?
actually, I work in a different district in
okay.
Yueshou district.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's about 25 minutes by
Alright.
taxi to
Alright.
get to work every day. Yeah.
So
But I
you-
just prefer this.
Taxi. You don't drive?
No, I don't. I mean, I've been meaning to get my driver's license, but just haven't gotten around to it. And also, I don't want to have the hassle of parking.
I know.
Paying for parking.
I drove here today, but I went to the hospital and I left the car there. Yeah, the parking and everything.
Yeah,
Who needs that, right?
I know. Because every day, because every day, usually I have to go to 2 or 3 different places. So in the morning, I'll go to the radio building,
Yeah.
which is about 10 minutes drive away from the television building. And even though it's one company, GRT, I go to the radio in the radio station in the morning, and then the television station at around midday, and then sometimes in the afternoon I'll have to go somewhere else for like an interview or something like that. And
Right.
I just think about if I had to like find a park 3 times per day, pay for
Yes.
parking 3 times per day, and then after I've had a long day at work and then drive home, that's just too much.
Thanks God for DiDi. Yeah.
Recently I was a little bit disappointed with DiDi.
Oh, yeah?
So I've changed.
Any different one?
I'm using Shenzhou.
Shenzhou. There are
Yeah,
probably a
Shenzhou.
few now. There is the other one, Chong. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a few. I
I'm
guess.
gonna have to look them up in my app
Yeah.
store.
Okay, so why were you disappointed with DiDi? I want to hear that story.
Well, because it's on my Weibo.
Okay.
I was a little bit unhappy with DiDi because one day a lot of my expat friends sent me screenshots of the English version,
Okay.
and there was a notice that said, due to COVID-19, like all services have been suspended in your city. But then if you changed it to the Chinese version,
It
on
was
the
okay.
app, it was okay. You could
All right.
order, or you can book a ride.
Okay.
And I
Last year.
last
year.
no this was
Recently.
last week.
Okay.
And so I just posted on Weibo, at DiDi, and I said, can you please explain why
Mm-hmm.
this notice, and it wasn't worded very well.
Okay.
It was to prevent the spread of disease. All services in your city have been cancelled. But then you change it to Chinese and
Nothing.
it has nothing. So they responded. Actually, I have to give them, props for responding very quickly. on Weibo they sent me private messages within like 2 minutes of me posting that on my Weibo,
Wow.
and then they asked for my phone number and called me, and
What was the explanation?
the explanation was it was a system error. But I personally I wasn't happy with that response.
Yes.
So I just decided I
You're
posted,
temporarily boycotting Didi.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
and I did post an update on my Weibo, and I said,
Yeah.
I have to say that they responded very quickly and they solved the issue very quickly, but I still wasn't satisfied with the explanation that it was a system error, because I feel like that is kind of an insult to my intelligence. you know,
I find with the Chinese that well, Chinese lie a lot. I think it's in the culture, and yeah, vast majority of these lies are white lies, and they're actually trying to save face, to save sometimes face for you, to protect you, not even them. So I mean, it's like I said before, it's a complex society to understand, right? But
yeah.
but sometimes they lie really badly. You know.
I mean, sometimes, well, that's why I was just frustrated, because, like, they did apologize and they said, it was a big mistake that shouldn't have happened.
And it changed.
That's great, and then they sorted the issue out.
Okay.
But I said I'm not happy with the answer that it was a system error, because I feel like there's more to the story, and
Right.
if you're not going to be honest with me about that, then I'm just not going to use your services anymore. And I was like on quite a high level on DiDi.
Yeah.
You know how they have the
They have the levels on the Chinese Didi.
yeah.
Okay. I don't use Chinese Didi, but I hear that sometimes it's different.
Yeah,
And
so
that's-
you can get there are you get more perks when you move up to
I don't
the
think the
higher
English
levels.
one has that.
I'm not sure.
Maybe
I
it
don't
does.
think so. But
Yeah.
if you switch to the Chinese version of the mini app or the actual app, then you'll be able to see your level.
What is?
Yeah.
What does it give you? The high level.
So it depends on which level you've reached, but I think like during peak times, if you have a high level, then you get priority if you have to wait for vehicles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just for free.
Well, obviously it's not free because you've spent a lot of money using their services. It's almost kind of like similar to like an airline points.
Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense. How many followers do you have on Weibo?
I think it's around 86,000 or
86,000.
yeah.
You feel like an influencer on it?
Not really.
No?
I mean, 86,000 sounds like a lot, but we're in a country
China.
of 1.4 billion people, so
True.
yeah, it's not.
And you post on in Chinese, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. So listen. First of all, this DiDi story, it's good because not everything is great about China, like any other country.
Yeah.
Right. And
There's good and bad everywhere. But
and I'm here with Hazza today because I had a chance. I came to Guangzhou and we've been talking on WeChat, and I really like his videos.
Thanks, mate. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I think you have a different voice. You're really nice. A lot of people. I mean, I don't know if it embarrasses you, but I think in today's world. It's more people should be just nice and kind, and a lot of people are not, and they're too busy with themselves, maybe also you try to give a balanced opinion. You're not all out on one side, which I appreciate a lot, and
I don't even know why there has to be sides. I'm just on my side.
I mean, there are sides. This is the nature of this world, I think. There is always a side to take. You could say that it doesn't have to be maybe like the right wing and left wing side or pro-China against China side. But even if you go smaller with the issues, there will be a side, right? But you're not. That's what I'm saying. You're not on a one of those big sides. I'm pro China. I'm against China. So so we had a chance to meet and talk, and I even mentioned a bit about like we should call it not your average China shield,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't like the term
Shill?
shill.
No?
Like I don't know. I don't know when it started. When people started calling other people shills.
I hear it a lot with the China YouTube or content, right? Shill. What's the definition anyway? I mean, I like to describe it as I think Barrett said something like, look, if you well, if we talk about money, right? Like some of these YouTubers have been on trips with CGTN or other media, and it's paid, expenses paid, not like profit, not profited. And any country or city in the world may ask an influencer to come. They'll pay the expense and do a video, and obviously that video will be positive, right? So are there shields? Are they shields too? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, personally, like my sort of one of the rules that I set for myself when I started YouTube was to never comment on other content creators
Okay.
in videos.
Okay.
So that's something that I will never do, and unless I'm giving somebody a shout out,
Right,
or,
unless you like them, you wanna support, you want to not like criticizing. I get it.
But because I'm just me, I'm not privy into anybody else's life. I don't know their people's situations. I don't know. I have no idea. So that's why I just instead of commenting about other people, I just kind of like to stick to the topics that I'm interested in.
Right. Yeah. You don't. I mean, you don't do all your videos about like politics or something. You told me before. The closest thing you do is maybe about China and Australia, right? Yeah. Which makes sense for you. You're an Australian living in China. You giving your perspective.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So when it comes to like political videos, I won't step outside of anything that's China or Australia related, because personally I feel like maybe part of the reason is that I've worked as a journalist for 10 years, so I know the importance of feeling like you know what you're talking about, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
I don't like to talk about something unless I know, like firsthand, that what I'm saying is accurate or correct.
I would dare saying now that we are very similar in that aspect, because I've been doing media for 16 years. Journalism. I mean, part of what we do in the media is journalism. Not all of it is journalism. Just to give respect to that word journalism, But yes, sometimes it's journalism, right? And yeah, I know what you mean. You don't want to start saying things that you may not know enough about.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So don't get into it.
And I also feel like people kind of don't realize that the things that they post on the internet will exist forever. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like in the past, you could say something, and if you were on television, somebody might have recorded it using a VCR player, and 10 years later it surfaces. But you could say something on television and it'd be old news the next day.
Right.
But when it's on the
internet is different.
even if you delete it from the internet, it's just not visible, but it's always going to be there.
Right.
And 50 years from now, 100 years from now, the footprint that we're leaving online right now, someone one day will look at that, and hopefully
it's true.
Hopefully if somebody looks at the footprint that I've left on the internet, they won't think I'm a terrible human being.
You can delete it though. I guess you can delete stuff, right? But I mean, I know what you mean. We don't think about it though, right? We just do what we do. At least younger people, I notice they think about that. They think about what they put online. I notice Chinese people on WeChat moments, they actually go back and delete some posts. and I find it fascinating.
Mm. Mm.
It's because that's how they want to portray their life, and if it's not perfect or didn't get enough likes, they may delete this. Have you noticed that before?
I think that some people do play around with the settings on their moments.
The 3 days.
Like for me, I'll go back and go through my moments because obviously WeChat for me is also highly connected to my work as well. So some people who want to, invite me to host an event or something like that, they'll have a look through my moments and see what kind of things I've done recently, and I'll go through my moments and think, if I'm somebody looking at this for the first time, what things do you think I could make private? So I won't delete them. I'll just make them private.
Okay.
So I can go back and look through.
So you do that?
Sometimes I do that, just so that sometimes
It's
things were relative or relevant at the time, but when you go back and look at it like a month later, it's not relevant.
Personally, I don't bother. I don't bother because if I put it there, I wanted to put it there.
Yeah.
That's real. For me, it's real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, I can understand some considerations. Yeah, I guess.
Well, because I don't do the whole groups thing, and because some people divide their WeChat up into like colleagues, friends, business partners.
I don't bother this as well, but yes.
And then so sometimes you can see a WeChat post from someone, but someone else can't, and I feel like that can be awkward sometimes, because someone might say, "Hey, did you see what so and so just posted on WeChat on Moments?" And then they'll be like, "No, I didn't. She didn't post anything." And then it's kind of like, "Oh,
did she block me or?"
So she apparently, yeah. So I don't do any of that. Like my Moments is just open for everyone to see. So
yeah, and it's too much work to go back. And
too much work.
All right. I want to talk a bit about your work. I want to understand a little bit better, right? About your job. You said it's GRT.
Yes, GRT. Guangdong Radio and Television.
Guangdong Radio Television, right? And it's basically the Guangdong TV.
Exactly, yes.
The main Guangdong TV.
It's the provincial television and radio station.
So the DG TV is under them, in a way?
Because that's a city level. So that's a municipal level television station. So here in Guangzhou, we also have Guangzhou Television as well. Guangzhou, I think
you also have that.
Guangzhou Radio and Guangzhou Radio and Television, yeah. So
they are separate.
They're separate, yes. So in Guangzhou, we have like 2 television stations: the provincial level one and this municipal level one.
Okay.
Because usually every city in China has its own television station.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and you've been doing this for 10 years.
10 years. Yeah.
And you started at 21.
Yeah.
Right.
21.
So quite young.
Yeah.
Right.
It's quite embarrassing to see footage from 10 years ago. Oh, don't ever want to see that again.
Maybe I'll put it on the screen right now if I can find it.
Hope you can't find it. I certainly won't be sending it to you.
Yeah. So how is it to work inside state-owned media?
I mean, it's just, I would say it's the same as working in any other.
But did you work in any other media?
I did. I did a small stint at a radio station in Brisbane before I came to China.
Do you think it's quite similar to any other state-owned television? Because the whole world have this kind of, right? Not everything is private. You have state-owned, right? So you go to work every day, and when I see you talking to the camera, anchoring, obviously you're reading from a teleprompter. Of course you are.
Yeah.
When you remember
for the
all
news,
of that.
For the news, yes.
But some of what you're reading, you write.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
So how does it work? When do you write it? When someone else wrote it?
So basically, it's like a shift-based system. So some days I might not be hosting. So I can, I'll edit stories and I'll write my own stories.
You also write for other people?
For other
presenters?
Yes.
You also write for other presenters?
Yeah.
So that's like a different responsibilities of the job. One is presenting, one is writing, editing, researching.
Yeah.
All
And
of
well,
that.
it just depends what, so sometimes I'll be the producer of a show. So then I'll spend more time doing research and, contacting people. But if I'm presenting for a producer, that's their responsibility to
Right.
do all of that. And then I will just, you know, present the program. Obviously, I'll spend time to, learn a little bit about what I'm talking about, but it's different being a producer. If you're hosting a program that you are also producing, it's different to just hosting.
Right.
If you know what I mean.
Kind of makes sense. Yes. How much of what you do is in English and how much is in Chinese from your job?
I would say it's about 40-60. So probably 60% English, 40% Chinese. So because my daily role is to host the English news, so that's something that I do either, 6, sometimes 7 days a week.
So that's the English news. The English news is a daily program.
Yes.
On the channel.
Yes.
And the channels is rest of the channel programs are in Chinese.
So the news program that I host, it broadcasts on the news channel locally here, and also on the international channel, which broadcasts outside of China. So when it's broadcast locally, some Chinese subtitles are added.
Okay, I see.
So, the local audience can understand what I'm saying if they don't speak English. But then we have a lot of, because GRT has like more than 10 channels, and we have like entertainment programs, we have...
So you do stuff for all channels?
Yeah, so I work with a lot of different channels
Okay.
within our network, and so like at the moment one program I'm working on is a show about health, and each episode we have a different topic. Like we talk about Parkinson's disease and
in Chinese or in English?
In Chinese. And ways to help prevent Parkinson's disease or try to avoid it, or if you've got Parkinson's disease, or if you have a family member with Parkinson's disease, how to help them through the stages and
is your Chinese that good?
Well, I don't think so.
No, but I mean, you can talk about all these things with all the terms, Parkinson's diseases.
Yeah.
All of that kind of a discussion, an exchange.
Obviously, I have to prepare. I have to prepare beforehand,
right?
And look up all of the relevant terms, and because as a language learner, you don't tend to learn vocabulary for things that don't relate to your life.
Right. Yeah.
So,
you must have improved a lot because of working in that, doing what you do.
Yeah, it's actually like one of the things I enjoy most about my job, because it pushes me to learn new phrases, new vocabulary, and probably I wouldn't be able to talk about Parkinson's disease in Chinese if I hadn't.
How to say Parkinson's disease in Chinese?
结核病.
It's not like Parkinson or something.
Sorry. 结核病 is tuberculosis. It's
that's more difficult. So it is kind of
Parkinson.
So it's kind of what I was going for, right?
Yeah.
It kind of sound like that.
Yeah.
My Chinese is quite good.
Yeah. Sorry, I got confused. I'll blame it on the beer.
Yes. So, who's the audience? Who's the audience? Your audience on when you're on TV.
Well, it depends. I mean, what programs I'm doing.
Right.
So, because sometimes I also do programs on the on the children's channel.
There is a children's channel.
Because they have competitions, and sometimes they invite me to be a judge for the competition, and so in that case it would be kids. And then for the international channel, largely it's overseas Chinese people and people who maybe are interested in Guangdong, living abroad, that would tune in. And then for the local channels, I would say just basically because of the internet and the push to go online. I think mostly the viewers for our regular programming is probably more in the sort of middle-age group towards like and more elderly
Makes sense.
people. But having said that, like a lot of people here in Guangdong still really enjoy watching local programs because we have Cantonese channels.
Right.
We have a channel called the Pearl River Channel, which is predominantly Cantonese. I'm not sure if they
Right.
broadcast some Mandarin programs sometimes, but I also do shows for that channel as well. And I have friends who will send me like, pictures through WeChat saying like, "Oh, I'm watching you on TV
Yeah.
right now," and they're usually young people. So
Oh, okay. So then you reach a lot of different groups
yeah,
in different ways.
because I think in some ways like TV is sort of making a little bit of a resurgence because people are overloaded with choice these days. Like when all of the options are put in front of you and you have to choose, like after a long day at work, sometimes you just want to sit down on the couch, turn on the TV and let someone else decide what you're going to watch. You know what I mean?
I know. It makes sense. Yes,
Yeah.
it makes sense. Okay. All right. Go further to the more juicy stuff.
Okay.
Do you do propaganda? Is there propaganda on your channel?
Well, I don't know.
What is propaganda?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like what
I know.
is propaganda?
What is
like,
propaganda? That's a good. What is propaganda?
Yeah, what is propaganda?
Yeah, that's a good question, right? Because propaganda can be like anything promoting something, promoting an interest. It's propaganda.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well,
That's one of the problems online today, right? Because people say a word, but what does it really mean?
yeah,
It means one thing to someone and another thing to another person, right?
yeah,
And that's an issue. But I guess when I ask propaganda, it means China propaganda, promoting the interests of China, of the government, of whatever. You know what I mean?
Well, for example, like after COVID-19 broke out, I did a lot of like, I guess in English you'd call them like public service announcements.
Yes.
Reminding people to like wear a mask,
Yes, yes.
wash your hands,
Yes.
disinfect everything, and that was sort of like broadcast everywhere around Guangzhou. I don't know if that's a form of propaganda.
I don't think
but-
it's propaganda in the sense of a bad, what some people say is bad, right? Propaganda, of course. But I mean, I'm just imagining, if I was you sitting there, I would say, I think the answer is yes, and I would think that it's fine. I mean, like I think again, maybe it goes back to what's propaganda. I think that most channels in the world have some interest. Propaganda, what you just mentioned as an example, is propaganda to be safe, right?
Yeah.
To wear masks. But I mean, do you ever feel? Do you ever feel it's like really like trying to promote China in a way that's like pushing it? Like come on, like too much.
I think for everything that I'm responsible for and the programs that I work on, like I don't say anything that I don't believe is true.
Oh, okay.
So I mean,
So that's a clear answer.
Um,
so if there is, you've never seen anything written for you that you don't think is true, or
nope,
no?
nope.
Okay.
I think sometimes, I might.
When you talk about facts,
For
right?
example, like in the past, I did some work for Huawei, and it was promoting their 5G products at the Hongqiao train station in Shanghai.
Okay.
And obviously, that was just directly with Huawei. It wasn't in connection with the television station. So obviously, if I'm doing a video about 5G technology from Huawei, I'm not going to be on there saying the technology sucks. I mean, So I guess that's promotion.
Right. Yeah. No, it
And
is. Yeah.
yeah, and
It's
it's
legit, I think.
and it's clearly promotion because it's not. I mean, it's not presented as anything other than promotion
Right.
to the audience. Like it was just posted on their official WeChat account, and it wasn't like packaged as me personally just making this video and then rebroadcasting it. Like
Right.
it was,
Right. I understand.
yeah.
Okay. So you never had that issue of feeling like a bit. Okay, I get it.
Yeah. No, honestly I can say that Chinese news is very boring for Western audiences because like it's not sensationalized. At least the programs that I work for, like news is not sensationalized, and you have to make sure that what you're saying is accurate and factual.
So it's factual based.
Yeah.
There is no like China is the best.
No.
No, this is not news.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So okay, I see. Because you do news.
Yeah.
You don't do like variety shows.
Yeah, I do variety shows.
You do
as
some
well.
variety shows.
Yeah.
But then it's not politics, I guess.
Well, I mean, sometimes, I mean, if, for example, if I'm doing a variety show and, you know, the producer or the scriptwriter has written some lines for me, obviously, as a foreigner, they would want me to say very good things about China.
Yeah.
But if there's anything that I'm uncomfortable with saying,
Not
I'll
saying, then
go
you
and
don't-
talk to them, and
Right.
and we'll like have a negotiation, and we'll.
I have to say, I think it would be the same in any country. I'm trying to think of a situation where a foreigner in US or in Israel going on a show like that, the natural feeling also will be like, hey, I'm a guest here. I mean, you know, yeah, let's focus on what I like about this country,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I mean, does the channel do any criticizing? For example, Chinese people shouldn't throw garbage in the street. They've been doing it too much, and this need to change.
Well,
Stuff like that. I mean, just example.
so one example would be our network has a show called The People's Hotline,
Yes.
and it's a live program where people just call up and complain.
Okay.
And so each episode, or each, well, I guess you'd say episode, there'll be someone from the government there in the studio responding to these live complaints that are like broadcasting live on air.
Right.
So,
And it's live. I mean,
live.
someone spoke to them before, like any other country in the world, in the media. I'm sure someone would first talk to them, maybe what you want to ask, and make sure, right? Must be. I mean, like, I think any media in any country would do that.
well, I think that, you know, there are broadcast standards that you have to meet. So,
Yes.
I mean, if someone is calling up and they're swearing,
Yeah, exactly.
you know,
That's what I'm saying. There is some vetting,
you have to
right?
you have to say, sorry, wait, I can't let you on.
Right.
There could be children listening right now.
Some
you
shows
know.
with one day, actually.
Yeah,
Maybe.
some shows would run that.
Not
but-
in China, I would say.
Yeah.
So what people complain about, give me an example of something like that someone may not even believe this goes on China TV. Any
For example, it could be like as benign as like a broken pipe in a street that hasn't been fixed for a week, and people are calling up and saying like, why hasn't this been fixed? Or it could be complain, like sometimes people complain and call up and complain about officials, and it could be related to like education or
yeah.
and like those kinds of things I try to steer clear of because I am a guest in this country, so I'll just listen.
You don't comment on it.
I won't comment on it. I just
Right.
enjoy listening
Okay.
and I think a key word when you listen to news from China, a key word to look out for is reform. Because when you talk about anything reforming, basically it's an acknowledgement that there's a problem and it needs to be changed or improved. And so sometimes, like as you mentioned earlier, sometimes in Chinese culture, people word things differently. They're not as direct. So if you say that, for example, like I don't know, the number 2 hospital in so and so district is undergoing medical reform, blah blah blah. It means the hospital has issues that need to be dealt with.
So Chinese people can complain directly to the government. This is one way they can do it on this show.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they have other channels, right? Because I think some of the assumptions around the world is that so no freedom of speech. You can't really complain about stuff, but you can complain. Do you remember the craziest complaint you've heard on that show?
Oh, wow. I mean,
There's a lot of small
show
stuff.
has been running for years and years and years and years. It was actually the first show of its kind in China.
Okay. Yeah.
And
So this is
honestly,
for Guangzhou local.
yeah,
It's a complaint about local
for
things.
Guangdong.
Guangdong.
So people could call up from like anywhere in the province and yeah, and
I'll call next time.
yeah, you can give it a go. I'd have to go back. I can't think of anything off the top of my head because I, every single day, I read about a lot of different news and I present a lot of news stories, and sometimes it can all become just mush in your head.
I know what you're saying. It's a lot of information.
It's information overload.
Yes. You read in Chinese, yeah? You read in Chinese a lot? Read?
So you mean for programs?
For programs, but also like to research. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm English and Chinese.
You read in Chinese pretty much. You can read anything. I mean, the newspaper.
I feel like obviously sometimes you'll be reading through a story and there'll be characters that you don't recognize and you'll have to look them up.
Right. I saw a video about why you should study Chinese.
Yeah.
Right. And every time I see something like that, I'm like, I'm gonna watch this and I'm gonna, please convince me because I want to be convinced. I need the motivation. But
Did I convince you? I didn't.
No, I mean I think I'm convinced already. It's just that you gotta put the time, right? It's. I mean, I've been here for 18 years. I know some Chinese. I can understand more than I can speak. God damn, why Chinese people had to study English so well? You know what I mean? It's like it regressed.
Yeah.
Because you can speak English now. I mean, you can live in China with English, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, speaking Chinese, I 100% agree. It's so much better, makes the experience better, knowing the local people. I see people like you. I see people like Daniel Dumbril. I see people that
Does he speak Chinese?
Yeah, he speaks Chinese quite well.
Oh, okay.
And you can make a connection and know so much more, right? So I'm convinced, but motivated to the point where, no, that's it. Every day, 2 hours, every day for a year now, I'm going to put it in because that's what you need, right?
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
So for me, at least I'm happy about my kids. They were born here. I'm like, go to Chinese school. You have to learn Chinese. If you just go to Chinese school, you have no choice.
Yeah.
So my kids, they speak Chinese.
They're going to be trilingual then?
Unfortunately not. My wife is American. We speak English at home.
Okay.
So I should have spoken Hebrew to them since they were little, but I did not.
Okay.
Right? So 2 big mistakes in my life, not learning Chinese for me and not speaking Hebrew to my kids. They are too much older now.
Well, it's never too late,
Oh, wait, everybody, stop saying it. It's true.
It's true.
It's true.
Yeah.
But it's harder later.
I know. I understand where you're coming from because sometimes psychologically you know that you need to do something, but you just can find reasons why it's not.
Yes.
No,
it's not the reasons why. It's not like you should do it, but reasons why not to put the time. Maybe because you don't have enough time and you're busy with other things. And not that you're lazy in your life. No, man, my day is busy.
Yeah.
But how important is that part, right?
Yeah, because we only have 24 hours in each day, so it's a matter of prioritizing.
Yes, exactly.
And so if learning Chinese for you, if not speaking Chinese doesn't impact your life enough that you feel like you need to prioritize it over other things that you're busy with, then that,
One thing comes up in my mind, at least, right? If I knew 18 years ago that I would be here 18 years later, I would study Chinese.
Yeah,
well.
That's why in my video I was encouraging young people in Australia to learn Chinese, because they could end up in China in the next 10, 20 years.
Right.
And speaking the language opens a lot of doors. I
For sure.
Yeah, especially now.
Big advice, I think. Yes, study Chinese. I agree with you. Please study Chinese if you come to China.
Yeah.
Because you're going to very likely stay here with all the opportunities and everything. So just put the time when you have time.
Yeah, and I feel like we have had ample warning that China will become the world's biggest economy.
Yes.
Like, I mean, for how many years have people been saying that?
Right.
And I can just imagine, 10 or 15 years down the track, 20 years down the track, once China becomes the world's biggest economy, and a lot of people are having to, cooperate with Chinese people and do business with Chinese people, and then people are going to say, "Oh, no one told us. We didn't have any warning."
Yeah. No, we told you. We're telling you now.
Yeah, we're telling you now.
Yes, do it.
Learn Chinese.
So let's talk a little bit about your YouTube channel.
Okay.
Well, why did you start your YouTube channel?
For many reasons. Firstly, I just enjoy the process of producing videos and filming and being creative. And I just saw that, so many people were going online, and if you don't have an online presence in 2021, people, I don't know, especially in like the entertainment industry or media industry, like people won't take you seriously.
Right.
For some people, especially when I do, gigs on the side, like people care about how many followers you have on your social media accounts, or how many views you get if you post a video, because I guess for some people, like, that's an indication of success, or I don't know. So I didn't want to be, 2021, I didn't have a YouTube channel, and I'm someone that likes making videos and making vlogs. So I used to post some vlogs to my Facebook page, because I have a Facebook.
Videos?
Yeah.
Okay.
But and I had a YouTube channel like years and years and years ago, when I used to do the cover songs.
Okay.
The Chinese cover songs. And like when I thought about, what do I want to do online, and when I thought about jumping back into YouTube, I thought like, that's just, it's like jumping into a pool that's way too deep. I want to sort of, take baby steps into it.
What's your YouTube channel about? How would you define it?
I would define it as an Australian expat's take on Guangzhou, China.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. All right. So we spoke about it a little bit before, but I wanted to talk about being Shills, right? Like, so some people call you that already. Did you get these comments? Do you get bad comments about being pro-China?
I get bad comments
from around the world.
From around the world.
Yeah.
From
yeah.
Just, Shill isn't the worst thing I've been called.
What's the worst thing?
Oh. Let's see.
Actually, I was thinking before when I was watching, someone should do it. Maybe it's not your style to do it, but I've seen it done in the US with celebrities. Do a video where you read bad comments you got. You've seen
yeah.
that before?
I need to become
entertaining.
I need to become a celebrity first.
No, but if you have a lot of comments like this, it's good content, I guess. But
yeah, no, actually that would be an interesting video, but like to this day I haven't blocked a single person on Twitter or YouTube, regardless of what they've said to me. But I don't want to repeat comments that are highly personal and negative in nature, because I don't want to give a bigger platform to those comments, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like,
I know what you mean.
I'll leave them there. And
that's why I thought I was thinking about it, and then I thought it's not your style.
Yeah,
it's not your style. Yeah. Who are your favorite YouTubers? Who do you watch?
My favorite YouTuber of all time is Mr. Who's the Boss.
The tech guy.
The tech reviewer from the United Kingdom.
So you like to watch tech reviews?
I love watching tech reviews. They're my favorite kind of video to watch on YouTube.
Are you a tech guy? You buy stuff? You enjoy that kind of thing? It's more about the video.
Sometimes it's more, yeah. I mean, I don't know why, but I particularly like to watch videos, like phone review videos. I don't even know why. And I love watching Android phone review videos, even though I'm a massive Apple
user. Yeah.
Apple fan. Everything that I use is Apple.
Wow. But you like Android reviews as well.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, let's talk just a little bit about you lived in Guangzhou for 10 years. How is it living here? Do you like it? And if you didn't live here, where would you live in China? You traveled, I'm sure.
Can I say if I didn't live here, I wouldn't live anywhere else in China?
Australia? Back home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Guangzhou or nothing.
Why? You've been in China. You've been to places.
Yeah.
Any other place you like?
Of course, there are a lot of places that I like, but I don't want to start from scratch all over again, because
I relate to that.
Yeah, because China is so huge and diverse that, you know, moving to another large city it's almost like, you know, relocating to another country in some ways, because you know it's
true.
You're starting from scratch with friends, and
the longer you are in one place, the life is better, right?
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
At least for people like us.
Yeah.
You mix with the expat community because you speak Chinese, so you can be friends with Chinese easily.
Yeah. So I have like a small group of really good expat friends, and we
Australians or a mix.
It's a mixed group. We have a couple of Americans, a couple of British.
Okay.
No Australians, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
But I see them on a regular basis, and we hang out with each other. We're kind of like family away from family, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know how it is for expats. People recognize you on the street?
Sometimes. Yeah.
What's like? Do they ask for your?
So sometimes
picture?
They ask for a photo, and then sometimes they ask for my WeChat.
And what do you do?
Oh, that's really awkward.
They say sorry.
I just say sorry. You can follow me on Weibo or something like that.
Yeah.
And then they say, "Oh, but I already follow you on Weibo."
I'm very happy to meet you. You want a picture?
and I just say I'm sorry. Like, I
but
just,
people understand, right?
well, most people.
Yeah, most people understand.
Yeah. But I mean, just like anywhere in the world, there are people that, you know, don't understand,
right,
like what the normal thing would be, and some people get really offended that you don't want to add them on WeChat.
Right.
When it's like, I'm sorry, to me you're a stranger, so.
So I guess this is Chinese people, right? Any foreigner ever stops you and asks for a picture?
No.
No, foreigners don't do that, right?
No.
Chinese people like celebrities. I notice this a lot. Not in a bad way, you know, but they kind of, I don't know, there is something there.
But I mean, usually when I interview someone for our show, like, people will say, you know,
take a picture.
let's take a selfie or whatever. So, but yeah, I don't know. And also I don't go out that often.
I know. Well, you just enjoy spending time at home. Do you have
Yeah.
family here? Do you date?
No, I don't have family here.
Do you date Chinese girls, or is that something we talk about or not?
Well,
I mean,
I haven't really. I don't have time for a relationship at the moment.
so you have your dog.
I have my dog.
How long you've been? How long you've been a dog owner?
Wow, time flies. She's 3 this year.
3.
Yeah,
3. So 3 years.
3 years. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I always had dogs in China. Dogs are important. You had dogs in Australia?
Yeah. Well, growing up,
Yeah.
we always had dogs. Relationships are a lot of hard work, and I work hard enough during the day. Maybe I'll consider dating, later on. I mean, I have a family member that got married around the age of 50.
Oh wow.
So I'm not in a rush.
It's not burning. You're not in a rush.
And I'm just happy living with my dog at the moment because she's so happy to see me every time I walk through the door. And
you must be one of the, wanted bachelors of Guangzhou in a way. You're on TV, you have a job, you're at the right age, so.
Lots of people try to introduce me to people,
Yeah. But you're kind of like not down.
Well, it depends who it is.
I guess so. Depends who it is.
Yeah, it depends who it is.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Hazza. So, well, I enjoyed our talk.
Yeah, me too.
And I really enjoy watching some of your videos, and I hope that more people get exposed to them. Outside of China, I think it's important for us doing content about China from different angles, and showing the world what is China about. China is not perfect. Of course, it's not perfect. I mean, come on, and we're not trying to say that. But life here, I mean, for me, has been pretty good.
Yeah.
I think for you as well, right?
I think like an indisputable fact is that for the majority of Chinese people, their lives today are so much better than they were 40 years ago.
Even 20 years.
Even 20
Yes.
years ago. So that, I mean, you can't deny that.
That gets me to respect China. That's one of the main things that we've seen.
Yeah.
10 years, I think we've seen it getting better for them, right?
Yeah.
Same way it got better for Americans 50, 70 years ago, right? It got better here 20, 30 years. And seeing that, while knowing there are some bad things going on, but I mean, there are the good things. And I just like, which I choose to talk about the good things because maybe I'm a positive person. I think same for you, in a way.
Well, I try to focus on the positives in life most of the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard,
Of course.
Sometimes it's hard, especially, in regards to your personal affairs. But yeah, generally I try to look on the positive side of life, and I think China is so big and so diverse, and that's why I like to talk about Guangdong and Guangzhou, because this is the part of China that I know well,
Right.
and it's a great place to live, and
I agree.
it's constantly changing, and it's exciting to be a part of something that is constantly changing.
Right.
It's a form of energy that encourages you to make changes as well.
Right.
So I think over the years in China, I've changed a lot as a person, but in a good way, because I've been forced out of my comfort zone many times, and I've had to do a lot of self-reflection and think about how I'm to blame in certain situations.
A lot of self-reflection, self-development.
Yeah.
This is like what life is about. I
Yeah.
think,
So I'm grateful to China because it's challenged me. It's constantly challenged me, and even though I feel on the inside like an 80-year-old man, I'm looking more and more like an 80-year-old man as time goes
You feel
by.
older because of experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful
Yeah, I
for
think
having those experiences.
it's one of the other things, right? China is super interesting. I always feel like, hey, it's super interesting. Things happen every day, you know, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but I like this unpredictable, sometimes unexpected learning. You always learn about the culture. You always learn something new. It's not like, you know, so it's more exciting to live here. It's one of the things for me. But yeah, I hope that people from outside of China, not just, I know that a lot of Chinese people in China, Chinese people abroad, they're watching our channels, you know, but I hope that like Westerners that never been to China are exposed to this content, you know, yours, mine, some other YouTubers, and learn that China is full of colors, right? And life here, I always say, you know, I live in Dongguan. I always say that people ask me, how do you like Dongguan? I say, Dongguan is not the best and not the worst. You know, it's what you make out of it. You know, as a person. In the end of the day, it's your life. And okay, it happens to be in China. I think I would be happy in other countries too.
Yeah.
You know, it depends on the person.
Yeah.
Some people are more positive, some people are more negative. You know, and yeah, I think I hope that people get something from this video, get to understand you better.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And follow you on your channel.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And you know, I appreciate you, you know, extending the invitation to me, and it was good to talk to you. And hopefully, it won't be the last time.
Yes.
You know, next time.
I'm sure it's not going to be the last time.
Next time you come to Guangzhou, let me know, and we can catch
maybe,
up. And
maybe you come to Dongguan, I show you around. I'm
Yeah.
sure you've been in Dongguan, right?
Many times. Yeah.
Okay. In the city or factories or different places?
all
over.
different places. Yeah.
All right. So next time you let me know. Yeah.
I will.
We'll meet up again.
Definitely. Yeah.
All right, Hazza. Thanks,
Thank you.
mate.
Yeah, let's do the elbow bump.
So if you
Social distancing.
If you like this video, you can give it a thumbs up. Watch Hazza's videos on his channel. I'll put the link up and down or everywhere. And until next time, thank you for watching.
Thank you.